Hi, Komal. Hello, we're
Yeah,
live.
hi. Hi, Nilima.
Welcome, everyone, to this really interesting, for me, and very exciting session with Dr. Komal Bansal. She is the CEO and director of KBK Raksha, an institute that she has founded and which is very, very passionate about educating and training people, not just women, but people from all walks of life and all ages in self-defense and self-security. So welcome, Dr. Komal. Welcome indeed.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Nilimaji. Thanks a lot. So thanks for all the kind words as well. I mean, I'm really thankful for you to inviting me over here and making, creating this awareness about self-defense and self-security in the society wherein I find that this topic is not, as much as is spoken about as we need it to be,
Yes.
discussed about. So fine. I mean, I actually had started. This is I'm in KBK Raksha. My organization. It was started about around 5 years before, and since then we had been working into private, government, semi-government setups as well. And we are lucky that we had came across around 2 lakh women till day, wherein we have created awareness in them. And it had been a beautiful journey since then. Thanks a lot.
So, Komal, how did you get into this? I mean, you're a physiotherapist. You're from a medical
Yeah.
background, and KBK Raksha is like self security. I mean, I know because from my experience, when I first wanted to go to UK, one of the first things I knew that my parents would be concerned because I was going alone was, how are you going to look after yourself? So I remember way back in 1993, I had done a course in karate. I'd gone up to green belt and I had like taken care of myself. So like how did you get into educating other people for self defense and self security, and what made you found a company of your own and this kind of institute?
Okay. So, see, actually, it happened at the time when Nirbhaya happened,
Oh yes,
basically. And
yes,
we were,
many
yes.
years ago, yes.
And we were actually, along with my husband, we were deputed. I mean, my husband was deputed in Netherlands somewhere.
Mhm.
And at that time, UNICEF was, distributing these pamphlets stating that they were raising money for the women who had been raped in India. So, so this was one thing which actually, have hurted me a lot. कि how could you label some country like this? कि fine, there are, women over there who have been, treated like this, and things have been happening like this, and you are raising money on top of it
Yeah,
for them.
yeah, yeah.
So when we came back, we sat together. It was a round table with my mentor, Shihan Haridas Govind, who had been into this thing. I mean, self-defense and training since last from 30 or 35 years.
Wow.
So he said, "Okay, fine, you just go ahead, Komal, and this is very much needed, and let's do it." And this was where we actually had started, and I knew. I mean, I had learned judo when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that this thing can help. I mean, it creates immense confidence within you when it comes to self security, protection, and being confident, being abrupt, being straightforward, and looking straight into the eyes of the abuser, and telling him a no. So these things happen, and then one certain day, I decided, fine, I have to do this. And today, I mean, I'm lucky we are working with uh, different state governments and UT governments of India. Like even from Andaman until Karnataka, we had been, giving sessions to women.
Wow.
So this was all about. I mean, I always believe that fine, if you want to bring in the change, you have to be the one.
Yes.
Like you cannot just blame excuse me, you cannot just keep blaming others कि fine ये problem है वो problem है ये नहीं हो रहा है वो नहीं हो रहा है. What are you doing about it?
Hmm.
आप घर में बैठ के कुछ ना करके और सिर्फ ब्लेम करना, कैमरा नहीं लगा हुआ था, पुलिस टाइम पे नहीं आई, प्रशासन ने कुछ नहीं किया, दिस इज नॉट दैट बॉस.
Hmm.
So I decided, okay, fine, let's take it up. And when we started this organization, at that time, there were very less organizations which were actually talking about self defense.
Right.
They were generally talking about, martial arts, MMA, आपका karate हो गया, judo हो गया. But I would say self-defense is very, very much different from, conventional or, general आपका self-defense या sport जिसको हम बोल सकते हैं karate वगैरह से. Karate या self-defense. No doubt the basis come from there only. But yes, the ethics and the zest and the feel is totally different.
Right. So in society today, we live in like urban areas, and usually like we live in Pune. Maharashtra is considered much safer for women compared to many areas of North India. Like if you go to Kerala, I mean, I've been in situations even in a place like Mysore when we'd gone to visit that beautiful garden, and I was molested badly there. I turned out and tried to really beat somebody up, but then that guy was all bandaged and all, and I continued to be abused in this big group of people that were leaving that garden, that famous garden. And I remember thinking that then, that even as somebody who knows karate, who is willing to fight, I'm afraid to hurt the other person. So even in our society, women are not brought up as people who are capable of hurting other people. Like
Right.
don't dare do something to me, otherwise I'll hurt you. And nobody believes them, or the women themselves don't believe it. So two questions arise from this. Number one, what are the societal changes at the moment that make self-defense and self-security a priority? And number two, what is the mindset that women need to shift in order to take on this role of being able to look after themselves effectively? Because I can relate from my experience that I was not effective. Yeah, I turned around to fight, but I didn't actually hurt anybody enough that they won't do it again. Because I continued, that
Right.
abuse continued, that molestation continued for the 3 4, it wasn't a long time, maybe just 2 3 4 minutes, but it was bad enough to leave this kind of memory for me.
Exactly, yes, exactly. And these such kind of memories, like once it happen, it takes long, long time and effort to, to rub them off.
No, no, it won't
Okay,
go. For me,
fine.
it won't
Yeah,
go.
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
still
it
so
won't go.
wary
I
of
mean,
the crowds. Yeah.
yes, I mean it takes long practice to rub them off our minds to from our slates which we have in our mind. I mean it's very tough, but ultimately sometimes it goes. I mean I have seen people evolving and coming out of deadly pains which they have faced in the past. So now coming about the society changes. I mean the changes which we should look forward for for the coming generations, wherein we can train our girls and boys. So I would like to share one instance that is like I mean our mentor used to share it number of times with us. So he used to tell us about this small elephant actually who was tied with a strong rope by the mahawar. I'm sure you might have heard about this example. So, and this elephant is just simply unable to break that rope. It is because it is very, very, thick and strong. And one certain day, when he grows up, he just stopped, the trial to break that up. It is because he had that strong belief in his mind कि मैं इसको तोड़ ही नहीं सकता. Now, if the Mahavat just leaves the rope like that, also he just keeps standing over there. He just don't moves from there. So this is the kind of belief which we are having, which we women are having. I totally can say it is because I come across number of mothers, number of dadimas, number of young girls also. I keep talking to them. Okay, मतलब क्यों? Why? I mean, mothers used to tell their daughters. Still, I'm telling you about my own friend circle. कि तुमने क्यों लड़ाई किया लड़कों के साथ
Why
में?
did you
तुमको
fight?
पता है तुम उनको
Why did
ओवरकम नहीं कर सकते.
Yeah. Why did
Why
you
did you
don't fight?
fight?
You don't fight.
Why did हाँ तुमने क्यों लड़ाई किया? Why did you initiate it even? You should have come out of that without saying even a word. I always go back and tell them, why did you fight? Why did you give them a slap? And to be on the contrary thing, I being a humanist, not a feminist, I used to tell my son also the same thing. If a girl is, trying to harass you, give her a back. Matlab, any, soul who is being, suppressed should rebel, whether he being a male or a female or a transgender, whosoever. So first thing we have to do as mothers, as fathers, as dadi mas, dadajis, that we have to tell our daughters and sons and daughters that you don't have to take shit. You don't have to give it and not to take it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and give them this strong belief that you can do it. You definitely can do it. I would give a number of examples, starting from the ex-commissioner of Pune till Kiran Bedi ji. I mean, if you just have a look at these women, I mean, I had an opportunity to meet them personally. If you just have a look at them, they are just short stature. They have short hair. They have they are very thin. They're very and even Rashmi ji have this stooped shoulders. But when she walks, when she looks, something is there which tells you don't mess with her,
Yes.
or she'll hit you back. So this is the confidence we have to build in.
You're mute. Completely mute. Can you repeat what you said? It was mute. No sound. No sound.
I am not on mute actually.
Okay, now it's back.
Okay,
Now it's back. Can
it's
you
back.
repeat what you
Okay.
said?
I said, okay, I mean, when you look at them, you will find that, I mean, they are very strong. And this has to be, inculcated in our, kids. Like
Yes.
from a very, young age, you find you can do it. I mean, we are lesser than a boy or a girl, or you're just equal. I mean, I would say you're just equal. So this
They're
is
not
one
actually.
change.
They're not physically equal. So a lot of women do believe that they're not strong enough, that they don't have the brute force that men have, or they don't have in their mind the permission to be violent or to be like, extend their energy in such a way, the same way that men, they've got testosterone. So this psychological difference that exists between boys and girls, even though some girls may be stronger than a boy,
Yes,
but
yes.
what is it in their mindset that makes them not able to respond in the same way?
This is what actually I wanted to say. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this is what exactly I wanted to say. Like, I mean, this is just a mindset, This is just a mind block, I would say. This has nothing to do with actual, strength a person is carrying.
Mhm.
Sometimes we find men who are just, thin and very, thinly statured, but they have this voice, when they make a voice that everybody is in attention. If I there is somebody who's speaking to us, and similarly women, even women have higher pitch, and we don't actually realize that it is because of that mindset only which we have been nurtured since we are very tender in age. We girls have been nurtured like that, like take care, you have to play with the doll, you have to comb their hair. Now I'm seeing some parents are nurturing them differently, equally. So this change has to be more, this has to be spread more amongst young parents, and young grandparents, the grandparents of the young children. You find you have to come up. I mean,
Mhm.
you can do anything you want in the world. So I mean, I'm very lucky that we have our father was like that. I mean, I remember my sister used to she used to I actually belong to a very small town from north, and cases over there are more frequent, like in comparison to this part of the India. The cases over there are more frequent. And I remember my sister used to keep abusing people hut samne se when she used to drive this scooty. When she used to come back and tell father ki fine, this had happened, he used to tell us koi baat nahi, hone do, I'll take care. So I mean, this has to happen more oftenly, I would say. Okay, fine, fathers are coming up to strengthen their daughter. Okay, fine, go ahead, I'll see whatever
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah.
So this will definitely and totally will change everything, I believe.
And in terms of like the older we get, as I'm particularly because we're talking to a lot of menopausal women, what would you say is the preparation that women need to do for their physical fitness that allows them to use self-defense effectively? Because there's no point me knowing, XYZ tricks or something if physically I'm not able to execute it in the moment. I'm not mentally prepared to act on emergency, because that is the one thing that declines with age. You know, your ability to respond quickly. And many times such events, they happen like in so fast. You know, just an example, we have a elderly uncle and auntie who live in our society, and they had both gone to buy some vegetables at the Mahatma Society gate. Now, so our society is quite big, about 450 odd bungalows are there, and there are security people everywhere. So it's not like it's insecure place. There is, everything is well lit. There are roads. There are people coming and going. And yet at the gate, when auntie was trying to buy vegetables, some two guys came on a motorcycle. They pushed her. They pulled off her Mangal Sutra, her bangles, and uncle was with her. And nobody could do anything. They pulled everything, and within few seconds they had gone, and the whole road behaved like nothing had happened. And poor auntie was lying on the ground there, and everybody was saying, "Oh, let's pick her up, let's pick her up." But this happens so quickly that as you get older, you really, you know, that ability to respond quickly, you know, the way we watch in films, how martial arts, you know, like the moment somebody tries to come near them, fuck, say they turn around and grab that person's hand or something. This is not possible for older people. So, you know, what kind of stuff needs to change as we get older? What kind of fitness do we need to build? What kind of mental fitness do we need to have to be able to respond?
Okay, so I remember one instance. Actually, we were training, I guess, in Kirloskar pumps, and we had a wonderful trainer over there, and he belonged to army actually. So like army people are very they're rough. I mean, they're sharp, very sharp. So he kept this practice over there. He just selected all women. He just called upon some women, and he selected one of them. And what he was doing is, like, he was just like hitting her,
Hmm.
like, fine, on the shoulder, one,
Hmm.
I mean, spontaneously, two, and she was told to block.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, she was told to block. So once, second time she again had it, third time, fourth time she blocked it.
Four attempts.
This is the practice which makes a man perfect.
Right, right.
Four attempts. I mean, she had it on her shoulder. She had it, and then her brain started working. Okay, I have to be really quick. So I mean, this is something which have to be developed
Sonal,
within.
can you put your phone on mute, please? It's covering up your sound.
Yeah. Yes. Now it's audible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So then I mean, on the fourth, instance, she actually had blocked it,
Wow.
and she knew it from where the hand is going to come,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
whether from the right side or the left side.
Right.
And then she was doing it, perfectly correct. She was
Right.
properly blocking it.
So it's practice.
Yeah. So our mind is also divided into, practice. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me? Sound. There's no sound. Can you plug in your mic again? Can you plug in your mic again?
Yes.
Ah, okay. That's it.
Yes.
It had gone mute.
Perfect.
Ah, yeah.
Yes. So I mean, this is practice, and even I would say, even if a child is not practicing, he cannot, respond, quickly.
Yes.
So any activity which you are doing on a daily basis is a must. I would like to ask everybody, like, what kind of activity are you doing on daily basis? What are you doing to feed your brain?
Mm-hmm.
We are doing literally nothing to feed our brain, right? So we have to practice every day to ensure that we are safe, right? Whether it is being being patient, whether it is being keeping your fear in control, whether it is being present in that particular moment, which we call mindfulness, and so many other things like this.
Yes.
Right? We have to do physical practice as well as mental practice to ensure that we stay safe. And to be very abrupt and clear, none of us is safe. None of us is safe.
No.
Right? A 3-month-old kid was also being raped, and a 90-year-old woman was also being raped.
Yes. Yes. It's horrible. Yes.
sure that we are safe while we practice it daily.
Yes. And what is the difference between self-defense and self-security?
Okay, so if we just talk about these literal words, if I just talk about these literal words like defense and security. Security is what we call as a preparation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like using your brain and using your skills and using everything around we have. That is basically security. Yeah, the setup, the ecosystem which we have around to be secure, to
Right.
safe. And defense means to replicate to the against the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is a clear difference between self defense and security. In fact, I usually refer calling it a security. It is because I don't only teach them on how being just defense yourself, how you just defend yourself, but use your brain, use your voice, use your body language, use pins, use pens, use anything you have to secure yourself. So I actually generally like to call it self-security session rather than self-defense session. But the term self-defense has been more used,
Yes.
so fine let it be.
Yes, we hear about martial arts and karate and judo, etc., being taught. And you particularly don't think that martial arts is necessary. You don't necessarily have to take a course in martial arts to learn self-defense. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay, so see, again, I would say if you are looking forward for a self-security thing, like which is a precursor of defense, then not always need a this thing, self-defense thing.
Right.
But yes, it is my personal suggestion that everybody should look forward and learn at least some basic tips and some basic things which could help you to defend yourself. At least a kick, at least a punch, at least a block, at least a use of how to hold a pen, how to hold a pin. These things takes nothing. I mean, ये चीजें तो सीखना ही सीखना चाहिए, and you should practice them daily also.
So can you give some tips that you recommend that women can use on an everyday basis, whether or not, doesn't matter how physically unfit they are. I mean,
Yes.
They don't have time to to wait till they become fit before they start defending themselves or protecting themselves. So what can they do on an everyday basis? How can they prepare themselves on an everyday basis to stay safe and feel safe?
At least start practicing on your personal physical fitness. At least start taking a walk. How many women amongst are even taking a walk? At least start working on your agility. Okay, fine. ऐसा हो सकता. I would say even start first accepting that we are on a danger.
Yes.
Right. First thing, when we start accepting that कि हाँ उसके साथ हुआ मेरे साथ भी हो सकता है, then only you will start preparing yourself.
Yes, because nobody is immune.
Nobody is immune
because they believe that they are safe. Like nothing's gonna happen to me. Usko hua hoga because she was wearing XYZ clothes or she was purposely went in the dark. And I know you feel very strongly about this. That's why I'm bringing it up. Oh, she only was inviting this. Doesn't she know that men are around at this time? Wahan pe kyun jana tha? There is a beer bar there, or there is so and so there, or doesn't she know that this is not the time to go out? Andhera hota hai to batti lagti hai, so you must come home. All these kinds of things are told to women, and they're always blamed when a surprise attack happens to them.
Exactly. I mean, at least start believing this. के fine, उसके साथ हुआ तो मेरे साथ भी हो सकता है. I am on a danger. So when you will start believing that, then only you will start reacting. And the first thing which I would suggest to do, everybody I would definitely suggest everybody to do is start, at least, do some activity to keep your brain activated and your body activated. Right. And then you have number of things which you can start practicing. Only a simple, kickboxing thing. Simple punch practice can help you a lot. I mean, you practice it for 15 days and you'll feel an immense change in yourself. The confidence which you develop is totally different. I can say it because I have done it. I practiced it. I know what kind of change you get. I mean, you achieve. It is because I am suggesting it. So at least start believing it, and at least start anything. I would say आपका walk है, run है, anything you can start with, and then start practicing any kind of kickboxing है, फिर आपका simple martial arts के, karate के, judo के, simple different तरीके के kicks है, punches है, which you can definitely learn in once, I mean, and then you can practice them at home. वो करें. इसके साथ में there are number of things which can be most lethal weapons, and we carry them every day along with us. Right? So you always have heard about them कि ठीक है pen हो गया. So the hold has to be very particular. You have to hold the pen this yeah, like this, and I would say this is one of my favorite. Yeah, then this is the hold for the key.
Yeah.
I mean, we generally do.
Yes, I do that.
Yes, this is the hold for the key. Yes, and yes, and this is my personal favorite, which I always keep along with my car key.
Right.
And this is a very legal weapon which you can carry always along with you, and it have a knife also, it is there, and everything is there. Once you have it in your hand now, you feel that particular confidence in you.
Right.
So I mean, why we don't need anything, we don't need to carry knives or guns along with us. We have so many things, and this is so allowed. Fine, you can take it anywhere. So, these are the things, I mean, which you can definitely carry along with you to ensure that you are safe. Ultimately, you have to suffer. So you have to decide what to be done and what not to be done. So better choose like what we can do and what we can do to keep ourselves safe.
Women are afraid to use the knife also. So I remember when I was in UK, when I was practicing in the clinic, we were given little personal alarms that, you could, and pretty much all the clinics in UK have a button that when you press it, blows an alarm or it alerts somebody outside. But carrying a personal alarm is also very effective. It just makes a really loud noise and it surprises the other person. So, but it's making sure that it works, make sure your batteries are working.
Yeah, same case with the pepper spray. Yes. I have, I mean, this is same case with the pepper spray. I have seen, people approaching, to harm somebody, and then they open the bag and kidhar rakha hai, kaun sa pocket mein rakha hai. So these things, keep happening. So at least, being a woman, you should, always be aware about what can be a safety thing for you. Yes. And you should know where it is.
Yes.
So I mean, हम कई बार ऐसे situations में
chili powder and turmeric and stuff like that, but that's really difficult because you're spoiling your hands, right?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I would say anything can work at that particular moment. Anything can work, but the first thing you have to do is the fear management.
Yes.
Right. अगर आपका fear in control है, and for that you definitely will have to do some practice. Very, very sure. You definitely will have to do some practice. At least you should know कि fine, अगर किसी ने धक्का दिया तो मैं कम से कम खड़ी हो सकती हूँ. इतना इधर एक strength होना बहुत जरूरी है. Like so that particular feeling.
Because there's one doubt that always comes back to me. You might know how to fight and everything, but how do you know? You don't know the strength of your attacker. You don't know, they may be carrying a knife, they may be carrying a gun. Some attackers won't think twice to kill you, for small little trinkets like your earrings or your bangles or something. So as a woman, how do you know when should you run away? When should you just give in? Okay, you're going to be raped or whatever is going to happen. When should you give in and not fight? And when should you really fight to like the end? Like, this is it. I'm going to fight until I get away. Is there a judgment that needs to be made?
Okay. So let me, just, get into a prelogue of this particular question, and then a little later we will come on this question. I want to just share this also. So, once this happened with me, like I had been seeing an auntie ji, and she was, wearing this mota chain, gold ka chain, दोनों हाथ में सब्जी का थैला, दोनों हाथ में. And I mean, it was her, regular practice. Every alternate day, she used to go this, हमारा जो नुक्कड़ का market है, रोज जाते थे उधर और रोज जाकर के इसी पोजीशन पे वापस आते थे. उनको she was in a age like 70+ होंगे, तो I'm sure कि उनको थोड़ा सा चलने में भी थोड़ा सा was like, I mean,
So she
अब
was
मैं
like,
आपको बताती
she
हूँ.
was exposing to the world all her gold chains and the fact that both her hands were occupied, that she's old and she's kind of walking home. So
I would like to ask you one thing. मुझे पैसे की जरूरत है, ठीक है, I need money, ठीक है, I am from that particular suppressed class of the society. I am. Now I know this auntie जी, अगर इनका मैं चेन खींच भी लूंगा तो भी मुझे she can't do anything. I mean, I am portraying my take away. I'll just fall down, shout and you go away. तब तक तो तुम दूसरा नुक्कड़ पे पहुंच जाओगे, ठीक है. Then once one simple thing I did, I asked auntie ji ऐसा मत करो. Society, don't do this, for our sake don't do this.
yes.
And at least what she did, उस दिन से उन्होंने अपना एक हाथ खाली रखा.
Okay.
कि कम से कम if she'll fall down, she can support herself.
Yes. She can get up again.
Please. Yeah, she can get up again. I mean, and I would definitely say that कोई भी ऐसा incidents अगर होता है, any incidents if happens, there is a complete homework behind. There is a complete homework behind. This is a proven thing. I mean, there were studies which were taken ahead in India, in US, in UK, everywhere, which stated it's a 99.9% truth. कोई भी incident से पहले there is a detailed homework which has been done by the abuser or the attacker.
My God.
हम कभी भी उसकी तरफ हमारा कोई ध्यान नहीं होता.
We are not prepared.
We are not prepared. We don't even see. We are just busy with our mobiles, with our stuff. But why this person is, following me? Why this person is every day standing on this corner?
Yes.
Why is this person seen like this?
Yes.
How many times do we do? क्या भैया क्या बात है? कुछ चाहिए क्या? क्या problem आपको?
We don't.
We don't do that. So पहली बात तो ये. So पहली बात तो self security में we should be prepared and at least keep our tentacles aware कि fine अगर कुछ हो रहा है, and when you know that you are vulnerable, you are alone, you are old, you are not capable enough, तो कम से कम अपना mind तो alert रख सकते हैं ना हम.
Be aware.
Right, at least, yeah, at least we can stay aware. So this is one thing which I would like to state. And then coming to your question, like when to assess, like it's a runaway state or So I would like to say, like, what should I say? See, every situation is different, totally different. I would say, right? We know. अगर हमें चोट भी लगता है, हमें पता होता है कि उसका सिवियरिटी कितना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमको उधर बैंडेज करना है या उधर स्टिचेस लगाना है या अभी तो सर्जरी करना है, पूरा बैंडेज वो फ्रैक्चर ही हो गया है. So fine, we women, I would always believe we do have a sixth sense. So पहली चीज तो हमें उसे assess करना चाहिए and we should listen to our guts कि नहीं अभी इसको तो हमें complain कर देना है इसका तो या फिर इसको डांट लगाने से फायदा हो जाएगा. तो उन चीजों को तो I mean I can't give a clear cut answer to that कि किस situation में हमें कैसे react करना चाहिए. Just because I would say every situation is totally different. So sometimes I have seen that only the first assertiveness, only the first reaction. If आप क्यों ऐसे react कर रहे हो, things stop then and there. For example, I mean even in societies I have seen these society guards are they are so nice to some kids. They are so kind to them. I mean they even touch their hand. They even touch their, hair. Hey, what are you doing, bacha? And all. It had happened so many times in front of me. But in my society, at least they have clear instruction. किसी बच्चे को हाथ नहीं लगा देना.
No, don't touch. Yeah.
Yeah, don't touch any kid.
She has taught her kid that you will not be touched by anybody, and if somebody calls you, unless your mother or father is with you, you don't interact with them, you don't talk to them, you come straight home.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know like how many parents till today tell their kids about good touch, bad touch. I think after the age of 5, it's a must. You tell your kids to be safe from fire, from water, from sharp things. Then why not this? So it's a mere, I mean, it is not a choice anymore now, I believe. It's a necessity now, okay, that every child, every person should know about it, talk about it, understand it. So, I mean, so yeah, I
So,
hope this answers the question.
well, maybe not, but I accept your point that each situation is different, and it depends on each person's level of fitness and ability of what they feel capable of. I mean, we
Yeah,
have a lot of I used to meet a lot of people saying, "I have something on you that you can give away." Like, so if you get mugged or you get stopped, be sure you have something on you that you can let go of easily. So that person gets busy, and then you can run away. So don't keep everything in your handbag. Don't keep everything, in one part of your pocket or something. If you get assaulted, then you can take something out of one pocket, give it, and let that person run away with it. So I remember when I was in UK, I never actually, for almost 16 years, I never had a handbag. Except to keep my notes and books and things in, and I never carried my laptop. I never took my phone out of my pocket. I never even used headphones because it was such a marker that you're carrying a phone that can play music or something, and that you're not alert. So when you've got headphones in your ears, it kind of shows to the people that you're not alert, you're not aware of your surroundings.
exactly.
Years and years, I would divide my money. I keep some money in my upper pocket, I keep some money inside my underwear. I keep now I know online on Amazon also you can buy underwear that has got pockets. Now those pockets are designed to have condoms, but there's nothing to stop you keeping money in that and your identity card. Suppose you get robbed or something taken away from you, you got a place that you can store things. So for many years, I used to keep a note inside my shoe, inside. Whenever I'd put socks, I'd keep notes. And maybe it was overkill at that time, but it was my reaction to being alone in a foreign country. And that's how I used to, prepare myself and look after myself. Is there anything you
Right.
can add to these kind of tips that women should have in the event that they're preparing, just because the surrounding is safe, they should not take it for granted that they'll be safe.
At least I would say that you should know your body well.
Hmm.
I mean, what are the strong points of your body and from where you can hit? See, I'm talking about self-defense, self-security. I'm talking about the SOS things. Like while somebody has, come and okay, fine, abhi to isko, karna hai. And there should be, a constant bell in your, mind, which is ringing and ringing and ringing. Ki nahi, meko molest nahi hona hai. I'm not the victim. I'm not the victim. I'm not the victim, which can overcome your fear. So this is one thing I would definitely say ki fine, you have to, keep yourself reminding that fine, I mean, you cannot be the one. It is because I have seen number of times when actually things happens now, people, while before reacting, they just, go frozen away.
Hmm.
So to keep yourself safe, it is very necessary that just keep yourself reminding. I mean, this is a very important tip of fear management. This is one tip I would give like to say about. And other things, at least know your body. Like what are the strong points of your body, from where you can hit and where you can hit. I mean, know your body. For example,
For an attack, for the person who's attacking us, what are the vulnerable points on an attacker's body that we can target?
yeah. So the face is very vulnerable. I
Hmm.
mean, our eyes are very vulnerable, our nose, yeah, and then this part of the throat is very, very vulnerable. I mean, ears are vulnerable, even lips are vulnerable. The little finger is very vulnerable. It's very soft.
Right.
It's very, very soft. Right? Any area where you doesn't find much muscle
Hmm.
is quite vulnerable. For example, this area by the ribs, it's quite vulnerable. I mean, you can use this, key as a weapon. I mean, you can just, puncture it over there, or a pen, as a weapon in the eye, nose, or anywhere. But the only thing is that you have to remember you have the capability to hit. Right, so these are the place. Then knees hai aapke, then you have your feet, I mean, which can be used for kicking. Yeah, yes, you can kick. Yeah, yes, I mean, these are the things which you can use. So these are the small things which everybody can remember and know about oneself. Okay, fine, I can do this. See, I mean, I would believe anything can be a tip, anything can be a a self-defense weapon, but the only thing is that you should know how to use it.
Hmm.
If you have a loaded gun also and you don't know how to release that safety button, safety knob, then it is of no use,
Yes.
right? So at least, start thinking that way, start practicing, start at least, this hold once, fine, hold this. Then only you are able to. I mean, I'm just not, speaking about the theft things. I'm speaking about the, where the people are, being molested badly, where the people are being, crushed.
Yes.
So, yeah, I've seen, such cases in my life. So that is why I am, and they actually, touch me enormously. So that is why I just started thinking like that only.
So, Komal, can you tell the audience about your courses, and like if they want, what does the course consist of? What do they actually learn in the course? And what kind of transformations, maybe a couple of stories of transformations that you have noticed in people once they start coming to your course?
Yeah. So we have courses, different courses, so starting from 2 hours by itself till 6 months. So the smallest or the smallest courses of 2 hours, which we just call a awareness course, which we just simply talk about, like we are just having a conversation where we at least make them aware about like what exactly is happening and how to take a strong call about it. And then the longest course is only for 6 months, where we teach about self-defense techniques are there, how to get released from the chokes which are there, about the different positions, like for example rape position is there, or somebody is holding your hand, how to release those. Then there are regular practices which keep on going. And then there are use of your upper body as weapons, using your lower body as weapon, use of different things as weapons. So these are the contents which we are doing. On top of it, the first thing which we do is the fear management, like how to keep your brain in control. It is because I believe personally, it is not your physical strength which let you down, it is your own personal mental block which let you down. So how to control your brain, this is the one thing which I must include in every session, whether it is a small or long. So we do this also. Then we do a small this thing about voice modulation, like how to use your voice as a weapon. Then we have confidence building workshops along, then how to build up your confidence. So these are the things which we have. Then we have grappling sessions also, wherein we teach them how to kick, how to punch. So it's a mix of different techniques and different skills which we tend to develop. And if I like to mention about a story, basically, then I would like to mention about a very recent one, rather, like of my own maid. Actually, she was home abused. She was molested at home, and her husband used to beat at home. And she that fine, Didi is there, and she used to do this. She used to tell me. I mean, I didn't had much bandwidth to tell about the punch and to tell about different tricks, but I had made her such strong mentally that one day she went and hit him back. She actually had hit him back, and now they are not living together. The situation was that she was having a threat for her daughter also, like it is because he was her stepfather.
Right.
So yeah, so she was she used to cry a lot ke, what will I do agar aisa kuch to ho gaya meri beti ke samne. I used to tell her, oh matai, रोने से तो कुछ होगा नहीं, अभी स्टांस तो तुमको ही लेना पड़ेगा, तुम्हें ही कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. And one single day, I mean, she took a stance and she hit her back with a bat.
Wow.
And अच्छे से. And this is one recent thing which I remember. There are a number of other stories also. I mean, and it's very important that we try to develop this confidence in this section of the society also. It is because they are also coming up.
Yes.
They are also teaching their kids, and whatever the boys will see, tomorrow you never know कि कौन सा बच्चा किस सोशियो बैकग्राउंड से आकर के हमारे बाजू बैठने वाला है.
Yes, absolutely. You don't know.
It is because we don't know. So it's very important that we support them as well. I mean, now today this boy, I mean, the son of this lady has seen that my mother can retaliate. She can give it back. So that day he had developed this कि fine, औरतों की respect करो, नहीं तो वो भी लगाती है अच्छे से. So, so this is one thing, one message which I want to give. Fine. I mean, because seriously, you never know which kid will study hard and will come and sit by our side.
Yes.
So it's very necessary that we train them, we support them, and we
Yes.
empower them.
So I just wanted to, I know that you are planning another session where we get somebody who has expertise in the legal side of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just want
Yeah.
to be a devil's advocate, because this happens in the UK and the US quite a lot, that you can have an attacker and you might use some technique to defend yourself, and then the attacker is seriously injured or even dies. Like this knives or pen, you might defend yourself and basically end up either killing the attacker or definitely maiming them or damaging them for life. And it has been known that such attackers can retaliate legally. So legally, how protected are we in self-defense when we cause hurt or damage or injury to the attacker? So maybe today is not the right time to answer the question, because we'll have a legal discussion. But I'd like you to introduce this aspect also of the legal side, not just of the victim. There's a legal side of the victim, but also of the attacker.
Sure. Yes, I mean, I am going to, plan this session very, very soon. Definitely, yes. I would like to tell you about this, particular person also who had been an international, representative of karate. I mean, he had, mastered himself. He is a Dan 4 trainer, and I think, and it is a very, high designation in the particular, fraternity, and he's very, very trained. And by self-defense also, he had been training since last for 15 years. I mean, he's a very trained person and a legal lawyer also. He had been into this particular, social law, where he used to tell about like the divorces, the clause about the divorces, the domestic violence, and similar the cases which deals with women. So it would be my pleasure definitely to ask him to come. I'm sure. I mean, he's not in Pune at the moment. That is why I couldn't loop him in. But definitely we could plan another session.
Definitely, because I think at least for me, when I heard about this in the UK and the US, particularly in UK, you're even in your home, to protect your home, you are not allowed to put barbed wire or glass on the wall around your house in case it injures an attacker. And this comes like a complete antithesis, because in our country, like we use barbed wire and glass and all for all kinds of silly reasons. But the fact that the attacker also has some kind of rights comes as a big surprise. And I'm not sure what the situation is in India, but at least in the UK and the US, these things are considered quite seriously. That from a human rights perspective, even the attacker has the right not to be like injured for life.
Yeah, it is because women are different, no? Women are totally different. I mean, even if you give a loaded gun to an African woman, and on the contrary, if you give a loaded gun to an Indian woman, she would, think twice before, shooting. Over here in India, she'll say, "Maru kya? Isko lag jayega." अरे वो तुमको थोड़ी ना कुछ he hasn't come there to caress you. He'll be giving you back. He has come to hit you back. So I mean, used to tell them कि ये सब चीजें, I mean, this has been inculcated. I mean, I would say this has been inculcated. We are being portrayed as this Parvati and Sita, but you have to remember, na Kali bhi to tum hi ho. You are the one who actually had killed the demons also. So I mean, this is something, totally different in our genes. So, I mean, yes, Sohail is the best person to answer on those, particular grounds. Yeah. But yes, definitely, I would say I had met, Indian women also, and women from, other countries also, we are a lot different. So, yes.
Any additional tips you'd like to share before we close?
See, yeah, yes, definitely. See, the most important tip is, I would say, I mean, which actually, works for me. I had not been a thorough learner of any kind of mixed martial art or something, but I know one thing, that, if somebody comes and, hit me, I'll definitely give him a hard, takkar. So, I mean, everything lies here. Everything lies here. So, I mean, whether you are in your 20s, you whether in your 30s or 40s or 50s, if you have decided कि आपको कोई नहीं harm कर सकता, तो आपको कोई harm नहीं कर पाएगा. And if you have, you know, somewhere that hidden thing in your mind कि नहीं मैं कमजोर हूँ और मेरे को अगर ऐसा हुआ तो मैं क्या करूंगी, तो वो होगा, harm होगा. But you know, you have to, you know, start thinking at least, you know, that way कि fine, I have my rights in my own hand. I am a woman and nobody has a right to, you know, do anything wrong with me against my own wish. Right? बट अगर हम लोगों ने वो सोच लिया है, वो उस हाथी की तरह कि अच्छा ठीक है मैं इस शैकल को तोड़ ही नहीं पाऊंगी, तो वो नहीं तोड़ पाएंगे, हम कभी नहीं तोड़ पाएंगे. एंड आई डोंट वांट टू यू नो से दिस अबाउट आवर past generation but for the future generation also. It is because this is a truth that it is being passed on always. So I have an honest request to everybody over there, whether you are a grandfather, grandmother, mother, father, anybody, tell your daughters to be the, you know, to be a humanist. I mean, be a human rather than ladki ladka. Be a human, and nobody have a right to, you know, suppress you against your own feeling, and you are strong. So this is my only tip which I want to give to everybody. Like इधर से ही सब कुछ गवार होता है.
So in your courses, do you also take classes for senior citizens?
Yes, of course. See,
as we go through menopause, and there's going to be so many more elderly people in society, and they're going to be either living alone because their kids are going to be in the US or in some other city. So do you conduct classes for senior citizens?
Of course, yes. I mean, of course, yes. See, I would say this time actually had given me an opportunity to address, you know, so many, you know, people who are above 30 and all. I mean, I'm telling you, it is because earlier, like before this Corona Kal, I mean, we were just busy, you know, talking about girls and women. But now we have, you know, started thinking, and we are doing so many sessions about for, you know, elderlies also, and we are doing sessions for elderlies also, and we are going to, you know, we just want a space. Basically, we are looking forward for a space where we can, you know, call upon you know, at least 10 people, 10, you know, elderlies, whether male or female, and we can start up our, you know, classes, regular classes. It will be a fun, I tell you. I mean, you know, overcoming it is because we are planning to involve a physiotherapist. Then we are involving our you know, regular trainer. Then we are involving our psychologist along. Then we are involving our, you know, behavioral therapists as well. So it will be a fun. It will be a mix of everything. I mean, fun activities and, you know, learning as well. Even, I mean, if any could here to, you know, provide us a space and you have people with you wherein we can do this, I mean, it would be great. But
how do people get in touch with you? How should people get in touch with you?
Say, where should I share my? I can, you know, put my.
Just where should? Can you just say it out loud? I'll put it in the comments. I'll put your email and phone number in the comments, but you can
exactly.
You can.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. My phone number is my direct connects are 916-829-7722.
916-829. 1 second. 916-829.
7722. Yeah, and you can always visit our website, that is www.kbkraksha.com.
And you have a Facebook page also. I found you through Facebook.
Yes. Yes.
KBK Raksha.
Yes. We have a foundation actually. I mean, it's a foundation basically, and KBK Raksha is a part of that particular foundation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Komal, for coming and talking to us and sharing your wisdom and helping us all to become so much more aware, so much more alert. And any of you, if you know you live in societies or in maybe areas where there are groups of senior citizens or you're a group of ladies who want to take up training with Komal, please get in touch with her, and she'll definitely cater to you and set it up. I for one, am definitely up, and I'm going to sign up for one of her courses straight away. I've been looking for something like this for years. And even though I think I'm pretty fit myself, I'm pretty alert, I'm pretty tuned in, I'm definitely going in for a refresher with Komal. So I look forward to working with you again, Komal. Thank you so much. And I look forward to that legal session also.
Sure, sure. Yes, my pleasure as well. I'm really happy that I mean, at least of some use to the, to this section of the society. I'm really happy for that. And thanks for calling me, Nilima ji. I'm really thankful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye. Take care. Bye.